Live.
Okay, my friends, I'm going to do something super crazy tonight. No, I'm not going to sing the Hanukkah song.
Hmm.
However, I want to walk you through some simple processes of how do you find people to connect with on Facebook. And I get the question all the time, well, how do I even, what do I do? How do I find more people? So let me show you something really cool. If you look at, if you go right here and you hit the search button right there. Let me show you. Where is it? Let's see. They always change it up on me. Some days it's in some places, sometimes it's in other places. Here we go. See if it gives me the right shortcut. All right. So if you type in the search bar, people you may know, and then you go to that thing that says find friends, check this out. This will go down and it will show you people you may know. I mean, obviously there's always suggestions that come across your feed, right? You've seen all those suggestions all the time. But if you want, you can go and find other people that you might be connected to that it doesn't show suggestions. And there's a whole list of people that you may know. Now, you can actually, they used to have search features on it. It looks like it's changed recently. They used to have a search feature where you could actually go in and search for people based on geographic location, based on what city they lived in. Let me look here again and see if it has it. Any of you guys remember where that's at? I haven't done it in a long time because I have like 5,000 friends and I get friend requests all the time. Let me look. If you go into... Song's going to be in my head now. Oh, it's not showing me now. They changed it on me. Anyway, they used to have a feature specifically where you could actually go and do research to find people that you may know based on the connections that you have. But if you type in people you may know, you can go to that as well. One other thing I want to show you here really quick is if you go into your own profile, your own feed, and you go into friends, one thing to pay attention to is, when you're posting stuff on social media, you can actually change the type of post you have to be either private, send it to a certain group of people, or you can do it, or you can create lists inside of your friend group. So if you come into your friends group, did you guys know about this feature? Just say yes if you did, no if you didn't. No? Okay. So if you come in here in your friends group and you go into more, they've changed everything on me recently. So you can go to recently added, and that will show you all of the people that you've recently connected with over the course of the last little bit. So if you've connected with someone and you're like, oh, I totally need to go back and talk to them, send them a message, you can go this way. You can look at the new posts that people have put out there. Friends with new posts, so you can see who's actually engaging. You can see whose birthdays are coming up. As a matter of fact, here's a kind of a cool hack. It's a great way to recruit, by the way. If there's one tactic that you've never used before, what I always do is I always wait till the day after their birthday, because they get so many messages the day of their birthday, right? Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's sending messages. So what I do is I wait till the day after. And what I'll do after that is I'll actually send them a message. Literally send them a direct message, an audio-based direct message saying, hey, listen, I know yesterday was your birthday. I didn't want to bother you on your birthday because you probably got hundreds of notifications on Facebook, but I just wanted to take a quick minute and tell you happy birthday. Hope you had an incredible day. Kind of cool, right? Because then if it's audio-based, not text-based, but audio-based, they hear you, the energy in your voice. As a matter of fact, I've heard some people specifically that use a program called Dubsmash. Have you heard of that application? Dubsmash can go in and manipulate your voice and give you background voice and things of that nature. And you can do audio recordings. So you just do a quick little audio recording, and there's even some that have like pre-recorded birthday songs. And you just create a little mashup, and then you can send them a quick Facebook message using that mashup. And then it creates a point of differentiation when you're connecting with people, right? They see it different. And the whole game of building your business on social media is, like we talked about last week with Michelle and how she's doing an incredible job of building an environment where people are attracted to you, right? Building an environment where there's attraction marketing, and based on consistency, you're intriguing them with what you're doing. You're building a sense of like, well, who are you and what are you doing? And then you're creating that infrastructure so they ask you questions, and then you can open up the dialogue in terms of connecting and communicating with people via social media. Okay, so think about that. Birthdays. You can look at work, places, people that work for you, work with you. Like, these are all my employees over the last little bit. You can look at colleges. People that have gone to the same college that I went to, some of my old friends from college. If I haven't talked to them in a long time, I can go and reconnect with them. I can look at all my high school friends, and these are people that I'm already connected to. People that went to the same high school as I did, you can send them a quick message. You can even go into current city, like where are they living right now? If you want to meet with people in your current city, which you don't have to do that because of the nature of virtual, but if you want to, you can just go and look at people that are in your current city that you're connected to again, and reach out and send them a message. You can see people that are from your hometown that may not be living here currently. And then obviously there's more. So there's also there's an aspect of followers, like people that are following you that you're not connected to. So I have 560 followers. You'll notice they're from all over the world. So you got to be a little bit careful because you never know where they're following you from. You can also go in and identify who you want to follow. So I want to follow some people, right? Who am I following currently? Who am I paying attention to, and what is the story they're telling, and how can I better connect with them, right? Let me see if list is in here. Nope, this is not in here. They used to have a place where you could create a list, and I don't know why they got rid of it. Because when you posted, you could select whether it was private or public. And if it was private, then anyway, they've changed it. They've changed a lot of this on me recently. So let me just walk you through how to do it. I'm just going to walk you through basic fundamental steps of how do you connect with people. Remember the follow, like, follow conversation that we talked about last time. I think it was actually like like, follow, engage. Literally, like, so here's my good friend, Damar Zimmerman. I connected with him on social media years ago. We've just become friends. I built a relationship with him. But, I go and engage with his content. And every time I engage or send a message to him, he always responds back to me. Now, let me show you another cool little thing. So recently, like yesterday, I threw up a post. Let me just look at my own newsfeed really quick. I threw up a post, just an engaging post, and something Michelle would do, a post that attracts people to look at what you're doing. And one thing to look at, pay attention to is you may not get a lot of likes per se, but if I click on this, I can go and look at the whole list of people who have liked my content. And look, it gives me a message right there where I can send them a message and just say something like, right, something like that. I just sent her that message. Sent her a direct message. So now I just engaged back with her based on a post that she just engaged in earlier today. And quite frankly, that's one of the best ways to also capture the attention of people. How many of you have done that? Yes, no? Okay, good. Good. Yeah, lots of...
Ryan, hang on before you go further. I'm so sorry. I completely missed how you made that a private message.
Okay.
Could you go back? Because I think that that's a really key component to this, and that would overcome my, I guess, if you will, shyness on social media, or just concerned on social media that, like you're going to post something and then it's going to be on their wall. And, that they get mad about that. Because I have friends in my group that talk about how annoying it is when people will post on their wall without their permission.
Yep.
And I like that you just did something private. So would you do it again? Because I was making notes and I didn't see how you did it.
Yeah, so you go to the post, right? You go to a post where someone engaged in content.
Yep.
Let me go. So this is one that I just posted the other day. Today, I think it was, or yesterday. I click on the names, so it gives me the full list of people, right?
Right.
I go down to, I usually send messages to each of these people. Let's say Mike. I haven't connected with Mike in quite some time. So I just click on send a message. I type something in here. And what I do is I just send it directly to him. So I just sent that in a private message.
Okay, awesome.
And this is actually including the post itself. So you might even say, hey, Mike, thanks for engaging in this post below. It's been a while. Let's reconnect. Let's go. When's good for you? Right?
Cool. Thanks.
Think about this, guys. Think about this in terms of, I always like to look at this in terms of, if I'm on the other end of this, and I'm a lurker, right? I'm engaging with content. I'm liking content, and someone reaches back out to me and says, you know what? Thank you for thanks for engaging. Thanks for your attention. That was way cool. Like, how you doing? What's new in your life? I would totally respond to that versus a cold message that says, hey, it looks like we're part of the same group. Let's connect. I look at it like, when you go to a coffee shop for the first time to meet with somebody, how you build that engagement, how you build that attraction marketing, and then you connect and have conversations, and then you start talking business. It's not like when you sit down for the first time at a coffee shop, you say, here's what Live International is. Here's what it's going to do for you. I mean, right? We go through that process of asking questions and finding out and building an extended relationship with them before we ever get into that dialogue, right? So consider that. Consider that in the process of, you know what? I totally get it. I understand it. And now you've engaged with me. Let's connect, right? So,
hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
let me jump in here and get your reaction to a thought here. You know, the age old FORM acronym: family, occupation, recreation, motivation.
Yep.
We've taught that as part of our training, you know, in terms of interacting with people, and especially when you're rekindling a relationship and you don't want to be that person who you know, out of the blue, all of a sudden rekindles a relationship and starts talking about their MLM.
Right.
I feel like it's important to use some of those FORM skills as you're re-engaging with people to get a dialogue going. And then there's a question that we've used with a lot of success that I think you can use in this private messaging once you've been chatting with them a little bit. And that question is, what's new and exciting in your life? And that for me has always been a golden question, because usually people will give a brief answer, and then they'll ask me back,
Yeah.
what's new and exciting in your life? And now the soft pitch has just been thrown, and you need to have, you know, your little, you know, well, actually, I do have something new and exciting. My health has really improved, or I've figured out a way to generate some extra income, or, you know, whatever. But so the FORM acronym, you know, the FORM, talk about their family, occupation, recreation, what they're working on, what's important to them, and then the what's new and exciting in your life. Do you feel like that's those are some good skills to use in as you're re-engaging with people that you might not have engaged with for a while?
I think they're not that they're just a good suggestion. I think it's mandatory. Because listen, guys, nobody wants to be that guy or that girl online, right? You don't want to be that MLMer, because then you have that that reputation, if you will, of people like, oh, great, I got a message from that person again. And we still want to be that one. As a matter of fact, let me show you. I had a gal approach me the other day about her business, and I thought it was actually really professional. And let's just dialogue through the conversation that we had. So here's this. Let me actually go to, I'm going to show it in a larger screen here. Maybe if my computer decides to, I'm going to turn off Dave, Adam Sandler. All right, let me just go see all in Messenger. Sorry, my computer's running slow. It always does when we're doing trainings like this.
Ryan, while you're looking for that, you know, just a comment on, you know, you showed us at the first how to find more friends,
Yeah.
or recommended friends.
Yeah.
When you do that on your phone, it's super easy. Like when you just scroll down to your friends on your phone, there's just a button right there that says find friends.
Yep. Yeah, it is a lot easier, quite frankly. So, okay, so let me just show you. So this was the dialogue. So she said, Ryan, thanks so much for the friend request. Looking forward to get to know you. Just curious, how did you come across my profile? Always interested in seeing his prior connect. Interested in seeing his prior, I'm not sure, prior connection. I said, I don't remember, honestly. Similar mindset, figures better surround myself with people like you than the crazies, right? She said, sounds good to me. What do you do? And I said, I'm a social media entrepreneur. I have 2 businesses that I'm currently managing, building through social. What about you? She says, I'm a professional network marketer. I said, that's awesome. Sorry for the delay in response. How many years have you been full-time? Since 2012. That's amazing. Congrats, same company the whole time. Yes, until recently. And then I just sent a voice memo. Then she just bumped it, right? So as September 14th, I sent a voice memo. She just bumped a little wave in October, just following up. And she said, hey, hope you're well. Wanted to touch base with you and update you on how things are going. Our company is really starting to take off. Would you be open to taking a look and seeing if it's a fit for you? I really like that language. Would you be open to taking a look and seeing if it's a fit for you? And then I said, Stephanie, I appreciate it. If I'm not mistaken, you're in part of Modere, right? She said, you're very welcome. No, I'm not. I'm with a new company that has a homeopathic HGH gel. Said, sorry, I've heard something about that. She said, I joined companies only in pre-launch. If I sent you some information, would you be open to review it and tell me what you think? Love that phrase. I want to repeat that. If I sent you some info, would you be open to review it and tell me what you think? How many of you have ever used that phrase before?
Nobody likes to say, no, I'm very closed-minded. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And so I said, well, what company does it come from? I said, I'm happy to take a look, no promises, right? So I'm not putting myself in a situation where I owe her something. She said, absolutely, being open is all I ask. I've been in the industry since 2006. I've never seen anything like this before. I believe this is an industry changer. The company's been ground floor, yada, yada, yada. And then she sends me the link. So she said, it's only 2 minutes. How soon do you think you would watch it? So she committed me to watching the video, right? Said, I like your style. I know it's only 2 minutes, but I want to give adequate attention. Can you give me till next week? I have a huge event I'm putting on Thursday and Friday. Then I can take a look. Is that fair? Anyway, so I said, make sure to follow up with me. Sure things I'm all about. Follow. Best of luck with your event. And then she followed up. Consistency is the key. Anyway, I just basically said, no, I'm not open right now. Not sure if I'm open. Thought I would be. Yeah, anyway, great conversation, great dialogue. And
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, what's interesting is that is also a good way that we can practice. So even if you do get in conversations like this with people and people say, like you said, no, it's still a great practice and it gets
Absolutely.
us really motivated and doing more of it. So yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to touch that base on that.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is I appreciate it. It's a very professional approach, and I don't feel like she tried to bait and switch me into anything. And we still have a good relationship, and quite honestly, she engages with content that I put on social media as a way of saying, hey, I'm still here. Oh, hey, by the way, hi, I'm still here, type of thing. Because it's not about the relationship you build today that's going to build your business for the long term. It's not about getting someone today. It's about building a relationship and seeing where that goes long term. Michelle's thinking. Or talking to someone else. Okay, good. I thought you were thinking that was a deep, profound thought. Michelle, tell me how you have leveraged instant messaging. I'm interested to hear your thought process as far as this conversation, or have you used something similar, or what is it that you're using that's working right now?
I pretty much do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just follow up all the time and, hey, just wanted to check in. Did you get a chance to look over the information I sent you? What do you think? Do you have any questions? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I try to continuously follow up.
Yeah. Do you engage with posts throughout that follow-up process to show people that you're relevant as well, that you're there?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you might be thinking to yourself, well, how many people should I add, right? Because there's a limit of 5,000. How many people should I be adding or trying to reach out to? One of my mentors who taught me some amazing things about building my brand on social media, she mentioned to me that you should be reaching out and sending voice memos to 2 people per day. I mean, think about it. 365 days a year As you start to engage with people, that's roughly about 600 people per year. You might have more than that. I mean, that's if you want kind of a standard, normal, good, solid growth. If you want to really put it into high gear, I'd say 4 to 6 people a day. Reaching out, sending messages, having conversations. The tricky thing is you need to make sure if you are sending that many messages out that you're tracking the conversations. Because you can get lost in, you might have somebody that's ready to buy and then you drop them off at the corner and then you come back to them 6 months later and they're like, sorry, you had your chance. And you're like, well, I didn't even know you were open to the idea.
What's a good way to track that, Ryan? I'm most of what I've done has been a little bit old school. Like I've even used spreadsheets so that I can populate a column with the next date. I put the next date of the contact so then I can sort on that column and see who I'm supposed to contact today. But that's I know a little old school, but it's better than not being organized at all.
Spreadsheets are great. There's some other software programs that you could leverage, like HubSpot. You can go in and create your customer pipeline in HubSpot. You might even use one thing that we use inside of our company is called Pipedrive. What's cool about it is it'll help you track the flow of your customer. So let's say you had your first conversation. You can go in and basically build columns in, and then instead of manually transitioning those, Dave, it gives you all the things that you need to follow them through that customer journey.
Ryan, at what point in this, I'm sitting here thinking about this dialogue that you had with this gal. And whenever I've used social media and gotten into these messaging things like this, I always have a goal to get on the phone with the person as quickly as possible, because there's this is great, but it does not take the place of that warm phone contact. What would be your suggestion about kind of the timing of saying, hey, can I give you a quick call?
That's a great question, Dave. I think it's just kind of your gut feel. Like sometimes you can push it too early and sometimes you can wait too long. So I think based on the conversation, and I think the response rate of your conversation will dictate how quickly you go into that dialogue. I would say the quicker the better, though. Meaning, if you had a good conversation and you're back and forth over a couple of days and you say, listen, I'd love, you open up that conversation. Dave, you talked about what's new in your life. One phrase that I always use, and I love it, is, what has your focus right now? Because there's so many different things in life that we could be focusing on. But if you just said, hey, what has your focus right now? Then you can, and as you're dialoguing through that, and now you've opened up the door for conversation, just say, hey, I'd love to jump on the phone with you, get to know you a little bit more and see what you've got going on.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever taken one all the way from first contact to enrollment strictly online. At some point, you got to get on the phone.
I don't. I do it all. I do it strictly online.
Do you? Michelle, you go all the way?
Completely online.
Now,
I have voice memos, but I do not talk on the phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's great.
I was just gonna follow up and say, voice memos are basically the new form of phone calls, right? So, in terms of like thinking about, I try to get people on the phone as quickly as I can, quite frankly, because then I can have a 5 or 10 minute conversation to really gauge their interest. Sometimes with messaging, you're missing out on the time lapse between them, so you lose a little momentum. The other thing that I always do, instead of getting them on the phone, I try to get them on a Zoom meeting so I can meet them face to face.
That makes a lot of sense.
Remember,
unfortunately, I have to do it online because I work a full-time job. And so I have my hands in color and hair. And so literally when someone's processing, I can't get on the phone with somebody. I just can't, not at work. So I literally have to do it all through social media. And like tonight, I didn't get home until 8:20. There's no way for me to come home and call anybody this late. So, I mean, if someone really wants to meet with me, they let me know. And if that's the case, it's usually local. And then I'll meet them for coffee, and I'll do a coffee meeting with them and do something like that on my day off.
Yeah.
But for the most part, all my everybody that I have signed or gotten as a customer literally has been all through
social
messaging.
Are they, Michelle, are those people that you've known, or you've come from a cold relationship all the way through that process?
I have about half and half. I have some that I've known, but recently, like I posted a thing on Facebook today where I put together one of our bottles with 5 samples, and I said, I put an ornament on it, and I said, hey, for $20, you can try these 5 of our favorite products or whatever. And I literally had someone that follows me on Facebook that I didn't know that came to the salon and said, I want to buy one, picked it up, and I don't know her. And then she wrote me right after that and said, hey, I'm really interested in the products. What information can you give me? How do I order it? And I just did it all through messaging. So then if I don't hear from her in the next couple of days, then I'll go back and I'll go, hey, I was just checking up, stuff like that. But I did get to meet her in person, but that's because she came to pick up the bottle. But for the most part, it's normally all through messaging. Yeah. And I do leave a lot of voice messages.
Yeah.
So are you far enough down that, Michelle? I know you're not new to this business model, but you're somewhat new to Liv. Mm-hmm. Have you progressed far enough now that I would assume then that after they engage, like after they become a customer, or after they then would you take some more personal steps offline to build that relationship and start to build that trust where you can work with them? Or what are you doing kind of on the back end, I guess you could say?
Yeah, I mean, I still, I followed up with one of my ladies tonight. She's an ordered, she's on the hot list. But she has some personal issues going on. Her daughter has cancer. And so, I didn't write her to try to get her to, order and get her stuff in. I literally wrote her and told her that I was thinking about her and, how was her daughter doing, and asked some questions. So that's kind of how I do talk to people and go, how are you doing on your products? Or I'll just say, hey, how was your Thanksgiving, or something like that. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
As your list gets bigger, it gets harder. So I'm like you, Dave. I have to write it down on paper. I'm not someone that can put it in a phone or a computer. I have to have paper in front of me.
Yeah. But the key is, and Michelle, I think you'll agree, the conversation is extremely important, but it's even more important to show that you're going to be there following up.
Yes, very much so.
And the cool thing is, my mentality is always, I want to leave the ball in their court.
Yes.
So I'm always the last one to message, the last one to send a text or a voice memo. I try to be. As you can see, I have a few people here that I haven't responded back to since this morning. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that the more consistent we can be in that messaging strategy. And the cool thing, Dave, is people check their text messages still. But it's amazing to me how much people love voice memos on Facebook. You've got a 99 to 100% open rate. You send someone a voicemail on a phone call, they won't open it. Till 3 or 4 days or weeks or months later.
Ryan, I'm probably the only person on this call that doesn't know how to do a voice message on Facebook.
I'll show you. Hold on.
It's easy peasy.
Hold on, let's show you. I'm going to show my screen. I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to do one for you.
I talk to my phone all the time, just not for the purpose of messaging on Facebook.
Just know you have a 1 minute limit. 1 minute.
Michelle and I will be sending messages back and forth, and suddenly you look at the phone and you're like, oh, it's over a minute. Well, I don't know where the last message stopped.
Yeah, right. So
am I the only one who doesn't? Maybe I'm the only one.
You are the only one, Dave. It's okay. So,
Well,
you're
it's
just-
started
you've
off with
been
the
out of-
Hanukkah
you've been-
song,
you've been out
and
of-
here we are.
You've been out of the game for a day or two.
Hey, but we're all learning.
That's right.
They'll change
Oh,
it
here.
anyway, and then we'll have to learn it again.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Here we go. So
Yep.
what you do is you take your computer, you take your phone, right?
Yep.
Up in the top right corner, there's this little icon. It goes into chats. Okay?
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a blue square, Dave, with a white F inside of it.
Listen,
Sorry.
it's a tough crowd.
Be
Hey,
nice
I've
to
left you
elders.
voice messages.
what did you say?
I said, Dave, I've left Dave voice messages.
Yeah, you have. I've gotten them. I just haven't used them. So I want to know how to start one. And I bet there's other people who are muted who don't know how to do it either. So do you want me at my home screen, my profile, or my wall?
So you go to, so how do I explain this? So you're on your application. Okay, hold on. Let me just walk through. So you're on
Do you
your
want me to go to
application.
my feed?
Just open your app.
It's open. It's right here.
Okay, top right corner. Do you see a little icon for a message? Like right here.
Yep.
Okay, click on that.
By the way, that is on my wall, my feed, not my profile. That's what I was on my profile. That's why I wasn't seeing it. Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Now
Been
do
here,
you
been
see
here lots of times. I just always type.
do you see the chats?
Yep.
Okay, so click on any one of those. And I'll just send a message to
Well, I'm going to do one to Michelle right now.
I'm just going to send one to Michelle as well. So you see this little microphone, Dave? Hey, Michelle, we're doing a test so that Dave
Yep.
that
Go,
this
Michelle.
actually
Wait.
works. So if you push and hold on to the little microphone, Dave, just hold on to it and speak into it.
Do you see it?
Yo, Dave.
My daughter's sitting right next to me, who is of the generation that understands everything. I just handed my phone to her. Okay. I did not have, I have to hit a little plus button on mine to get the microphone to come up. Okay. So it's now,
Are you an iPhone user?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that bad?
Nope.
No.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Okay.
This is so fun.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to record this.
Jolene, are you following us here?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure it out too. I can't get mine to even go to anything once I hit messages. I haven't, it's a completely blank screen.
Have you ever sent a message before?
I
Hi,
love you,
Michelle.
Jolie.
This is
Hi,
Dave.
babies. You know what? I don't do things on
Ryan
my
is
phone.
embarrassing
I
me
go on
in
my
front of
computer.
everyone. Hope you're doing well. Bye.
So
Okay,
can
Michelle,
I
did-
still send a voice
Sure.
message through my computer? Do I have to only do it on my phone?
Yeah, no, you can do it through a computer too. So look, let me share with you my screen again.
Okay, awesome. Because I think I saw where it said there was a
See right here on the bottom?
yeah, I see that. Yeah,
It
that's
gives
where I
you-
would do it.
Just say record.
Yeah, that's where I would do it. Yeah, I
Yep.
don't do Facebook on the phone. I mean, yeah, my relationship with my phone is completely different.
That's great.
Jolene, thanks for making
I
me
love
feel
you,
good.
Jolie.
Do what works for you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Ryan. I got
Hey,
it.
no, that's great. Now everyone should know how to walk through that process, Dave. That's great.
That's why I did it. I really knew how. I was just dummying up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Dave, you rock.
You're amazing, Dave.
Hey, Ryan, could
We were
you,
just testing you.
if we have some time remaining, I'd like to revisit at the end of one of our trainings, we just barely touched on joining groups.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can we revisit that as a strategy for increasing our networks?
Yep. How many of you are part of a decent number of groups? How many?
Well, I did what you said, went into 5 groups.
What ones did you go into, Jolene?
I went into 5 and I visited them often during these last 2 weeks. And I got to tell you, I don't get how that's going to create, I feel like the content you gave us today was much more valuable on going directly. Think about it, you guys. We have this very limited time, at least I do, to do my live business. And I want to engage with people who have already selected me as friends versus going into a group. I'm arbitrarily responding and adding things. And here's what I'm finding. A lot of groups have it right in the upfront information. Do not talk about your product. Do not talk about your business. Do not personally. I actually had one that said, do not personally message anybody from this group, which I found to be absolutely an interesting. So I left that group. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for groups right now that are under 500 people, so that there's a way to be engaged in a smaller group. I need more concrete information about why joining a group, liking, engaging is worth my time there, because I feel like it's down a rabbit hole.
Jolene, can I give you an example?
Yeah.
So when Mary and I were in the field, we did some of this. She did more than I did. Mary is and this was totally sincere on her part. This wasn't a game. Mary's a cancer survivor, as most of you know.
Right.
When we were taught about this, she just went out and started doing some research on cancer groups and found some cancer survivor groups that for people who have the same type of cancer that she did, ovarian cancer. And she just went out into the groups and started to add value. She just started to talk about what she did during her recovery. She talked about, what worked for her, what helped her. And you know what happened? People started interacting with her through, they initiated the contact to her because she was out adding value. She was being a valuable member of that community. And that wound up with, I don't know if we enrolled any distributors from that, but we enrolled several customers from that. And so I have to believe that can work in other groups, Zumba groups, or whatever you're passionate about. Michelle, I don't know if there's hair, people groups. I'm losing it's late. I can't remember the word. Cosmetology groups or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, you're building relationships, basically. Oh, yeah. You're not selling your business.
There you go.
You're building relationships with people, and then eventually you connect with those people outside of that group. So it's not about selling yourself or selling your group or selling your business in those groups.
So Jolene,
you're investing your time.
To answer your question, Jolene, it's all about leverage. It's all about leveraging yourself to gain more attention from people that are passionate about what you do, just like Dave is explaining. And it's not for everybody, though. I mean, if you feel like that's a rabbit hole for you and that you're not feeling authentic inside of that group and making proper connections of people that you can relate to and then bring into your environment in terms of live is concerned, don't do it.
Thank you.
You've got to find what works for you. And, here's what you'll find as you further engage through social media and as you go through your contact list of people and you warm in your hot market, you'll get to a place where you're like, I really need to reach out and connect with additional people just so that I feel like I'm always talking to new people and not talking to the same people over and over and over again. And that's when you start to make that transition into groups.
I like that. That feels like a better strategy for somebody like myself I'm not a big social media person. I feel like the better strategy for me is to go to what my somewhat warm market is and re-engage with people. I mean, I like Moana, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've lost sight of so many people who used to be on this product. And now I'm seeing this great big awakening of social media was the way I should have always been connecting with them instead of waiting to get them on the phone, right? Because that's just not reality today. Like you said, you leave a voice message and you wonder, well, why didn't my friend ever call me back? Well, now this is just a great strategy for me. I'm excited about this. The group thing threw me. You guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be your negative Nelly right now. I didn't like that. I didn't feel like it was worth my time. I felt like it was a lost leader for me for the social media piece. This content that you've shared with us today, Ryan, resonates with me a lot better.
Yeah. And you'll get to that point because you're not as active as a social media user as many people on this training. You know, it might feel like groups is not necessarily the direction, but what you'll find is you'll start to acclimate towards certain people based on what they're posting on social media, what content they're sharing. And then as you post and engage with those new people, you'll find that there's a little bit of, there's some certain influencers inside of those connections. Meaning, let's say, for instance, if I connected with Michelle, right, and I start to see the post and content, what I'm going to start doing just to gain a better understanding of Michelle is I'm going to go see who else is engaging with her posts. And then I'm going to start looking at some of those other friends and start following them. And typically there's one or two, maybe three people that are like the ringleaders that have a tribe or a followership. And that's what leads me to those groups, because they'll take their followership off of the traditional platform of Facebook and say, come and connect with us at a deeper level outside of the algorithms of Facebook, inside of a group where we can protect each other, have candid conversations, build value for each other. And then you just brought yourself into an environment where, you know, your passion zone is where you can provide the most value, so you can live in that passion zone inside of those groups.
Awesome.
But it takes time to formulate what that looks like for you, right?
Right.
It totally does.
Great. Thank you.
Yep, you got it.
Ryan, can I share one other way that I've found to be effective to expand your friend group?
Sure.
And I want to just up front say a little caution before I do this. You can cross a line and be a creeper. Okay, so don't be a creeper. But and everyone probably knows this, but if you go to your friends and go to a friend who is someone that you admire. So it's someone that you think, gosh, if I had a whole team of this person, it would be awesome. And go to their friends. Some people who are a little more savvy on social media have their accounts set so that you can't see that, but most people don't. And so, I go down my friends, I look and I see Paul there. I say, if I had a whole team of Pauls, I'd be in seventh heaven. So I say, you know what? I wonder who Paul's friends with. And I click on Paul's to see Paul's friends, and they come up. And I don't just go down and go friend request, friend request, friend request, friend request. I go down and I look and I say, oh my gosh, I didn't think about connecting with that person. Oh, I didn't think about connecting with that person. And that can be a wonderful way to find additional friends. And those are deeper and more detailed than the ones that come up in just recommending automatically.
Yep. Yeah. So I want to close out this training and just say, reiterate that it takes work.
Yeah.
Like all of this takes work.
Oh, shit.
Like if you think that you're just going to post something, people are going to engage with you, and all of a sudden you're going to find people, it doesn't happen. Especially, I mean, like Michelle, we talked last week. It takes, or 2 weeks ago, It's taken her 3 or 4 years to get to where she is. You know, it's interesting because, you know, there was a time when I was very active on social media where I'd get 300 or 400 people that would engage with my content continuously. And then Facebook switched their algorithm.
Yeah.
So it's consistency. Facebook will continuously give more expansion to those people that play their game, not try to beat the system, but play their game, and they'll give more organic reach. They'll give more exposure. They'll give you better suggestions as to people to connect with. It's just a consistency game. And the more consistent you are inside the confines of what they're doing, the better. Now, another reason, just so you know, Jolene, why we always focus on groups, about 8 months ago, maybe even a year ago, Facebook came out and said, Facebook is built for communities. We're trying to put people together and grow together. So we want to encourage you to build groups, build tribes of your own followership. And it was probably, Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's about 5 or 6 months ago, they actually started showing you analytics of your group.
Mm-hmm.
Showed you who the top contributor was, showed you who was engaging with the most content, and all of that now even gave you a better gauge as to who's paying attention. Then this obviously is if you're leading the group or if you're an admin inside of the group. But now it gives you more depth on who you really can go deeper with.
And you know, one thing, the more friends you make, I'm with you, like I'm almost at my max, Ryan. I'm at like 4,700 or something like that. So I really do have to be a little bit more choosy when I friend request every day now. But you do want to make sure, so like, here's an example, a girl that used to be in the other company that I was with, her and I are still friends. She's now with a different company and I'm with Liv. But we still engage and talk to each other all the time. She wrote me today, and literally within 1 week, she said, I don't see your stuff anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now we know that we need to go over to each other's pages, like each other, engage with each other so that we get put back into that algorithm again. Because like you said, Facebook in the last week has changed it again. Yeah. And so now we have all these different people and we're not seeing the people that we usually see. So it's important that you go into your friends list and really go down the line, and people that are your friends that you don't see their content, go over to their page and start liking and talking to them.
Yep. Especially if it's someone you're trying to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Stay engaged in them. You know, let them know that you're there and you're relevant. I always go back to the analogy of, you know, Donald Trump recently, win, lose, or draw, love him or hate him, it's a moot point. I'm not going to get into a debate about politics. But the reality is he positioned himself where the attention of consumers was better than any other candidate in the market. That's all. He took Facebook ads and he placed them strategically in locations where he could swing the states, and he did. He was noisy. He was obnoxious, but the reality is he was relevant because he was in the market. That's all. I mean, that's the whole reason he won the presidency. If you look back and if you were to go interview all the people that voted for him and you ask him what did he actually say or where did you see him at? Town halls, live. Every single one of them was live. And then they positioned that content, ran ads to put it in front of people. Like the game is attention, my friends. The game is totally attention. The more attention you can keep on you, the more value people will see in you, the more likely they will to partner with you. Dang, I should have recorded that. It was good. Touche. All right. Okay, listen, next week I want to go over Instagram. I want to start cracking at Instagram and showing you how to hack Instagram by leveraging so many wicked cool hashtag concepts. It's hard. It's legit hard. But
very hard.
So challenge for you this week. I want to see you do 2 Facebook Lives this week.
I did one yesterday and one in Hawaii already.
2 Facebook Lives before we talk next week. Why? Because that's the game of attention right now.
I don't like those.
Hey,
Any
Ryan,
subject? Any
give a
subject?
give a couple of suggestions on content, if you would.
Find your passion zone, talk about it. Documentation is the new form of content creation. Find something that happened in your day and tell people what happened. Share with them.
Related or not related to our products, or does it matter?
I'd say no until you can start getting an audience.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Guys, I gotta run. I love you.
Bye, Moana.
Bye.
Hey guys.
Bye, Moana.
But yeah,
I
no,
love you all. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank
welcome.
you.
No, so Dave, I mean, not relevant to the product. Remember, 90% of the content you're pushing out is lifestyle-oriented stuff.
Yeah.
Do something that resonates.
Yep.
Something you learned, something you think you can teach someone, or just a funny story, a funny experience. I'm sure, listen, Michelle probably has an easy job of that. She's a psychologist, for crying out loud.
Yes, I am.
Tell a funny story like, guys, listen, you'll never guess the story I heard from this one person sitting in my chair. Don't give names.
Tell a story.
Tell a story.
Yeah. And I'm a hair therapist, by the way.
I know.
I made that up.
I know. So tell people your story about being a hair therapist.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many funny stories I'm sure you go through. You're a marriage counselor, you're a therapist, you're talking people off the edge sometimes. I get it.
And I don't get paid for that.
Not enough, at least.
All right, guys, we have hit the bewitching 1 hour mark. So we're going to declare victory for tonight. Ryan, thank you. Thank you, everybody,
Thank
for
you, Ryan.
being
Thank you,
involved.
Ryan. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you, guys. It
Dave.
was awesome.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Julie.
let's catch a little sleep and make the last day count, guys.
Make it happen.
Bye, Heather.
Give me a bonus like that.
Good luck,
With money
everybody.
on the table. Go get it.
Absolutely.
Rock
Let's
and
get it.
roll.